This is quite possibly one of the most buttery puff pastry bread loaves that I've ever made. It's soft, buttery, crispy on the edges, and just melts in your mouth. Here's how to make it. In a large mixing bowl, combine 280 grams of bread flour, 30 grams of white sugar, 5 grams of salt, 5 grams of instant yeast, or you can substitute it with dry active yeast, which I hate. We're going to add 20 grams of melted butter, 1 egg at room temperature, and yes, it has to be at room temperature. Not hot, not cold, but room temperature. Just leave an egg out for about 30 minutes ahead of time before you start mixing. We're also going to add in 150 milliliters of lukewarm milk. I'm using 2% here because my parents decided that they don't want to fit around my waist anymore. But feel free to use whole milk if you want, or even substitute it with water if you're lactose intolerant. Next, we're going to mix and knead everything together using a stand mixer for about 13 to 14 minutes. And trust me, you don't want to knead this wet dough by hand. After the dough is done kneading, I'm going to transfer it to a greased large bowl and then shape it roughly into a ball using a spatula because the dough is still very sticky. Or if you're brave enough, you could try shaping it with your hands. We're going to cover the bowl with plastic wrap or a towel and then let it rise in a warm place until double in size. It takes about an hour. Now, onto my favorite part of making bread. After we're done degassing the dough, we're going to transfer it to our countertop that's been dusted with some flour. We're going to shape the dough into a round ball, and then cover it with plastic wrap and let it rest for 10 to 15 minutes to relax the dough. Then, remove the plastic wrap and now we're ready to shape the dough. Add some flour to your countertop, flatten the dough out, and then roll it out until it resembles a rectangle. Oh my god. Once we're done rolling out the dough, we're going to apply some room temperature butter to our dough. But don't use up everything. Save about 20 to 25% of the butter for later. Now fold a third of the dough inwards like this. Then fold the other third over to make it a trifold. Then, make another 3-layer fold like this. Cover the dough with plastic wrap and leave it in the freezer for about 30 minutes. After 30 minutes, add some flour to your countertop again. And start rolling out the dough into a square like this. Now apply the leftover butter on top of the dough. And then roll it out one end of the dough to the other end so that it forms a log. Make sure you pinch the ends to seal the dough. Then, using a dough cutter, divide the dough into 10 pieces. Once you're done, place the cut pieces of dough onto a bread loaf pan lined with parchment paper. Cover it with plastic wrap or a towel, and then let it proof one last time for about 40 to 45 minutes. Once the dough is done proofing, we're going to apply an egg wash to the dough. Apply the egg wash liberally to the bread loaf, and bake the bread loaf at 350 degrees Fahrenheit for about 25 to 30 minutes depending on your oven. Now would you look at that? Isn't she a beauty? This bread is soft and moist on the inside, yet slightly crispy on the outer edges, and has a rich buttery taste that'll leave you wanting seconds. Now before you run off and start making this bread, I have a question for you. Do you like cheese? Because if you do, then you might also like this recipe right here.